Satan, accept my devotion. Oh, close my sorrows, I take zeal in this role. Submit to the powers behold.
Wait a second, that's just spite. Hey, how's it going? My name is Fred Stewart, and welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. With me, as always, my lovely co-host.
It's me. It's Taylor.
Hi, Tay. And with this, once again, as always, running camera and sound is Bill Bernard.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Praise Satan and the Dark One on this very spooky day. Hello, Satan. Hello, Satan. It's kind of like bless you, bless you. Yes. It's a very spooky day, and this will be our Halloween episode, which will be kind of fun. I mean, it's coming out before Halloween, so. But you can, if you want to ruin a Halloween party, you can put on this episode. So think about that. That's kind of fun. Well, I don't particularly have any news stories. Taylor, you said you were looking at one?
I found one.
Okay.
Y'all aren't ready for this one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Surfboard stealing otter attacks resume at California beach.
That's the one I was looking for, God damn it. Yeah, I was like, I saved something somewhere and I couldn't find it. Yeah, that's awesome.
I stole it. So visitors to a California beach are warning of an aggressive otter with a habit of stealing surfboards. And it's not the first time that this has happened.
Okay.
Isabella Ordurna said she was surfing Wednesday evening at Steamer Lane in Santa Cruz when a sea otter bit her foot and climbed atop her surfboard.
Oh my God.
Didn't puncture skin or anything, but he just...
It's a naughty little otter.
Grand Theft Board was not on my bingo
Grand
card.
Theft Otter?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there you go. Grand Theft Otter.
She said that the otter remained on her board for about 20 minutes before being driven away with help from other beachgoers.
Oh my God.
Mark Woodward is a local photographer who captured the photos of him trying to steal her surfboard, not succeeding. He returned to the same area on Thursday and witnessed an otter commandeering another surfer's board. Woodward said the surfer was a teenage boy who attempted to paddle away from the animal, but the otter grabbed onto the leash connecting the surfer's leg to his board and pulled him backward.
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming for you. This board is mine.
A sign was posted at the beach Thursday reading, "Warning, aggressive sea otter in this area. Enter water at your own risk. Keep away from marine wildlife."
Oh my God. That's awesome. Do you think that this otter saw the 2007 classic Surf's Up and got inspired?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, I just want to everybody's like Cody, like, why don't you be like me, dude? Like, I'm not like you, dude. I'm me, dude. I just want to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that otter thinks. Anyway, so California Fish and Wildlife did go out and execute the otter. They shot it 15 times.
Oh my God. You said that with such conviction. I was like, oh, man, I miss
Poor
my
otter.
boy. Yeah.
No, he's still hanging out, still stealing surfboards if you so choose to take one in his waters.
Tonight, top story in HGO 13, an exclusive, an otter overdose on fentanyl. It's like he just tried to be the best surfer that we know, and no one believed in him, dude. He just no one believes in him. That's a new sketch idea for the doc if that ever comes back. Well, my lovely people, I can see I kind of dressed up for the occasion. Isn't that nice? Don't I look nice?
Yes, you do.
Don't I look nice and dapper?
Yes.
For our Dark Lord Satan. Do I look very spooky and ominous?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would I look even more spooky and ominous if I did such a thing?
Oh.
Praise be to him. Praise be. The lights are a lot brighter.
They are.
A lot brighter than the usual scene, which is, it's this, but it's usually brighter. So, there you go. Hi.
That'll do.
Yeah, gotta love RGB lights. Well, I have a very, very interesting set of stories. Technically two, combined in an overarching mega story. That is something near and dear to my heart. This is a story all about heavy metal, rock and roll, booze and drugs, and of course, Satan.
All right.
You guys ready to get into it, dude?
Fuck yeah.
I'm so ready.
Do it.
Let's get into it. Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, The Omen. Some of the most influential horror movies to ever grace the silver screen. But they are all linked to something that has seemingly haunted the U.S. and the world for a very, very long time. Something that was a real bump in the night for those who believe. Satan. Hey, thank you. But fear of Satanism is almost as old as Christianity itself, dating back to the 16th century. Horrible acts from outside groups of cannibalism, murder, torture, and incestuous orgies have been blamed on those who worship the devil because people can't just be fucking weirdos. But it's all simply ridiculous. As a fellow Satanist, I can confirm that we don't do any of that, but people are quite fun to kill and eat sometimes. Kidding.
I was like, why does it have to be an incestuous orgy? Why can't it just be like a fun one?
Yeah. Well,
I can't speak for everybody. Maybe some people enjoy that.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say, and it's the state of Alabama. Anyways, with the release of the aforementioned movies, it has become it placed like the real threat of the devil in people's minds, right? It also probably didn't help that in the 1960s, a man formed a group called the Order of the Trapezoid in the Satanic city of San Francisco, California.
Ooh.
Which would later be called, any guesses? Order of the Trapezoid later be called? Anybody? Anybody?
I'm gonna say like for me, like I think it probably was like at Ashbury or something in San Francisco, but I don't know, like maybe like the Polygon or something.
No, take any guess?
I don't know.
Well, my ghosts and ghouls and my lovely friends, the Order of the Trapezoid would later be changed into the name that is synonymous with the devil, and that would be the Church of Satan.
Oh. I was expecting
And
another
the
shit.
founder, the man behind the shadows, if you will, someone who is very influential to how I am as a human being, would be none other than Anton LaVey, which I would love to do a full episode on one of these days because the whole story of Anton LaVey is fascinating. And I probably will. To those who worship the big JC, Jesus Christ, LaVey was the physical manifestation of the devil, especially with his release of his blasphemous satanic Bible and its 9 satanic statements, such as standing up for oneself and not letting wrongdoings go unpunished, executing kindness to those who appreciate and reciprocate it, and going so far as being law-abiding citizens. The horror!
Wow. None of that sounds terrifying at all.
No, it's highly ridiculous. One of the big things about the Church of Satan is that someone actually, it was kind of like 2015, around that 2012, something like that. Yeah. Somebody had emailed the Church of Satan and said something along the lines of that they were going to kill for Satan. And just to go to show how much the Church of Satan is because they don't believe in Satan as a physical being, but more as a overarching like story, like of like it being like a representation of their beliefs.
Yeah.
And someone was like, I'm gonna kill for Satan. So the Church of Satan was like, interesting, and they forwarded it to the FBI, and that person was arrested.
It sounds to me like they're doing the Lord's work.
Quite ironic, isn't it?
Yes.
But to the God-fearing, they see pentagrams and pure evil, fearing that the youth was going to be possessed by Satan. People kind of freaked out they're still doing it.
Ever.
Yeah, since forever. But we saw like the full height of this during the 70s through the 90s and what is known as the Satanic Panic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it wasn't just LaVey who was put in the crosshairs of worried, overbearing parents. The popular role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons was said to be a gateway to the devil. Gateway to the devil! Rock on.
Oh my God, the gay bard.
Yeah. Well, just wait till I get into it.
I feel like it's like a gateway to an IPA. Like that's about it.
It's a gateway to doing some really dumb bits with your friends. So, in 1982, the group BADD, which is Bothered Against Dungeons and Dragons, was formed to combat the quote, the devil worship and suicides they thought were attributed to the game, D&D.
Yeah.
There was an actual attempted suicide that would later turn into an actual murder of a person who was playing D&D, who was actually the founding member or the founding mother of the BADD, and she attributed that D&D was to blame for that. Yeah. Not the fact that her son was a compulsive depressive and then was seemingly killed by two random people who are psychopaths. It had nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons, but she saw like basically the son was the only time he was happy was when he was playing D&D. So seems kind of ridiculous, but they call D&D quote a fantasy role-playing game which uses demonology, witchcraft, voodoo, murder, rape, blasphemous, suicide, assassination, insanity, sex perversion, homosexuality, prostitution, satanic type rituals. I'm still going. Gambling, barbarianism, cannibalism, sadism, desecration, demon summoning, necromantics, divination, and other teachings. I will not leave the target. You cannot make me.
I just have to say, this. Would any of those like other teachings be like maybe like African American studies and women's studies? Oh my God, Satan!
Don't get me started. There is a lot of stuff like that. I initially wrote this episode to just talk about the Satanic Panic, but then I was like, well, there's some other stories that I want to talk. So this whole episode is about satanic-based crimes.
Yes.
But I feel like I could not mention Satanic Panic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll talk about Satan quite often. Throughout this whole next year. As someone who's played D&D, I can say that there was definitely a session where the party members and I were trying to pee on a bed and just ended up peeing on ourselves, which was truly satanic. Taylor was there for that. Remember that session?
Oh, yeah.
We were playing, it was a Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
And we were, went to roll to see if I could piss on a bed because we were searching this lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I rolled and I was able to piss on the bed, but my friend was unable to piss on the bed. So he didn't even,
you were not, in fact, pissing on beds.
I was not pissing on the bed in real life, but in the game I was pissing on the bed.
Okay.
And he could not. I rolled like a 17, so I in theory was able to do it in the game, and then he was not able to do it, so he pissed his own pants.
Ah, okay.
And I was like, Satan, that's so satanic.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Fucking rock on.
I'm thinking like if you had to roll a 15 and you rolled a 17, that would be like you might have like pissed a hole in the mattress or something. And if you rolled like a 20, that would be like you peed across the ocean or something.
There was a man traveling in a rowboat, and you hit him, and he died. You get 15 XP. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a sneak attack.
I would argue that D&D is probably the least satanic game you could play. I mean, just by the fact of you're defeating devils and monsters and stuff like that.
With your imagination.
And like a lot of people play as like holy clerics, and it'd be like, I used like divination and holy light to destroy this dragon. Like that seems kind of exact opposite, but
exactly.
But it's satanic.
Of
But
course.
there are so many things that are attributed to Satan. Black Sabbath, Twin Temple, which we were listening to earlier, which is actually satanic, and I love them because they're super fun. And fucking Marilyn Manson.
Well,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Metallica. Let's add that in there too.
those have always been.
Yeah. Satan is used as a shock factor in media, music, and art. But as these things go, killers who want an extra edge use the devil to terrify those who think there's a bump in the night. The Ripper Crew, which I will most likely do an episode on, Sean Sellers, another person I'll probably do an episode on, and someone who I've done an episode on, which is Richard Ramirez,
That's
the
what
Night
I was
Stalker.
thinking.
Oh, yep.
You know, who was famously known for carving a pentagram into his hand and showing it in court.
Yeah.
And there is one more case, well, two more cases, but this is the case that really grabbed my attention, which made me want to do this episode for this week. It's something that has grabbed my attention. This is a story of heavy metal music, sacrifice, and Satan. This is the story of the beasts of Satan.
The beast of Satan.
Yes. 1998, Milan, Italy. It's a Saturday night in the infamous Midnight Pub. Thick smoke and the smell of beer and the sound of a dark, brooding heavy metal soundtrack blanket the room. My kind of night, to be honest. Inside the pub is 16-year-old Fabio Tolis and 19-year-old Chiara Marino, who Fabio was hopelessly in love with. You know, both being goths of Milan, Italy, right? Also, at that club was some of their friends and some of Fabio's fellow bandmates, mainly the majority of his fellow bandmates, of a local and popular band called the Circus of Satan. Later that evening, Fabio called his father, Michel Tolis, to ask for permission to spend the night at Chiara's house. Michel denied permission for this to happen, but noted that on the phone call it sounded scripted, almost as if his son was in distress, but was not overly showing it, right? Once the call ended, Michel felt pretty weird, so he got up and, you know, he kind of was talking to his son, was like, hey, listen, like, get on the last bus. If you can't make the last train or last bus, I'll come pick you up. And he just felt weird. Felt like something was off, like something wasn't right about the phone call. It was unlike him to be such a way, right? And so he said, fuck it, got out of bed, you know, around midnight, you know, or later that evening, and was like, all right, I'm driving out to the pub. So he makes a 30-minute drive to the pub, and Michel heads inside the heavy metal pub, and he's met by one Paolo Ozzy Leone, a key member of the Circus of Satan. He had chosen this name, he had chosen this name as Paolo was a fan of Ozzy Osbourne, naturally, right?
Yeah.
Paolo casually asked Michel if he was, you know, what he was doing at the club, like what we're doing at the pub, like what's up, man, you know, because they all know each other, right? Like they've met a couple times. It's not like an abnormal meeting.
Yeah.
Michel hasn't met all the members of Circus of Satan, but like knows him. His son comes home, talks about him, so he's like, it's not like, you know, it's like whatever. But they're all older. Like they're not Fabio's age. They're not 16. They're like in their 20s.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of weird, but it's fucking Italy in the 90s. So, and it's also a club full of heavy metal people. So as long as you stay out of trouble, right?
Yeah.
So after he explains the situation, Paolo basically said, Fabio left with Chiara and they went next door to the bistro to use the phone because they didn't have a phone inside the pub.
Yeah.
And so Paolo and Michel headed next door, and they were able to confirm the owner with the bistro, the bistro owner, you know, like what was happening. He's like, yeah, him and Chiara came over, they made a phone call, and they left. You know, that's kind of it. And so Fabio and Chiara, you know, came to the bistro, got some tokens, made the call, most likely to Michel. After coming to a dead-end search around the pub, Paolo offered another piece of information stating that there was a construction site nearby and perhaps, quote, the two lovebirds wanted to be alone. Right? As you do when you're a teen with another goth, with your hot goth girlfriend. Right? After striking out again, Paolo and Michel drove around local parks and pubs to look for Fabio and Chiara, as Michel had never actually seen Chiara. Like never actually seen her in person. Or like, his son had always come on and be like, you know, I'm kind of crushing on the girl, you know.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little thing. But as they continued their search, both Paolo and Michel were starting to get worried.
Yeah.
Paolo was noted as saying that he was concerned since the pair usually show up like before midnight and they usually catch the last train. This is not like an abnormal thing. They usually, if they're gonna be out late, they usually show up around a certain time.
Sure.
And with the night raging on and tension was getting high, Michel asked Paolo if he had the number for Chiara's parents, and he did. Michel was able to call Chiara's parents and ask if Fabio and Chiara had made it back to their house, to which Chiara's mother had stated that Chiara had actually left with Paolo, Ozzy, right? The guy who was in his car.
Yeah.
And that's who brought her to the pub, which
Yes.
they all know each other, so it's not like really an abnormal thing. And his son obviously traveled there to meet them. But her mother had noted that no one had she had not showed up, and Fabio was not with her. By this point, Michelle's car was full of members of the Circus of Satan: Arios Chaos Monteros, Pietro Wedra Guerrieri, his brother Massimino Magni, Marco Kiel Zempolo, and obviously Paolo Ozzy Leone. And so all these guys have these crazy fucking names: Chaos, Kill, Wendra, Ozzy. Ozzy. Yep. And one by one, members of this eventually kind of come up with a thing, it's because it's late in the night, and they're like, hey man, I gotta get my ride back to my town, because I live he lives outside of Milan. I gotta do something, dude, or I gotta go do something tomorrow. Yeah. He'll turn up, he'll be fine. And they one by one they begin to leave, and leaving only Michelle Massimino, who's the brother of Guerrieri, and Ozzy left in the car. Mm-hmm. Around 1:30 in the morning, Ozzy states that he himself had to leave, stating, quote, that the two lovebirds will certainly come home. He said it with a smile. When Michelle arrived home, he noted that his son had indeed not returned home. Staying up all night, Michelle headed to Chiara's house the following morning, hoping to find Fabio. Around 7:30 in the morning, Michelle arrives at Chiara's house in Corsica. But as soon as he arrives, he discovers that neither Chiara nor Fabio had ever arrived there. The respective parents swapped numbers with promises of that if any information popped up, they would let the other know. Because Chiara, like I said, is 19, she's legally an adult, but Fabio, he's 16. It's like, you gotta fucking say something, right?
Right.
With growing concern, Michelle finally heads to a police station to report his missing son. Seeing no other options at this point, he tells police that he's discovered something. He's convinced that something terrible must have happened to his son, because his son has never done this before.
Yeah.
But police were pretty dismissive of the claims, saying things like, Mr. Tolis, they're young, and, they've been out for one night, and, don't think something terrible has happened. They're just kids, right? Uh-huh. Just being dismissive. With police being little help, Michelle Tolis headed home and called all the band members of the Circus of Satan, hoping to piece together his son's timeline. And the members agreed to meet Michelle and search a local park, which is close to the pub. Mm-hmm. The members would be the first. This meeting would be the first time that Michelle would actually meet two more of the members of the Circus of Satan: Andrea Edizion Volpe and Nicola Ornician Sapone. With Paolo Volpe and Sapone, these three were the founding members of the Circus of Satan. Lightning, flames. Circus of Satan. Anyway. There you go. I'm surprised I get to do that. I just learned something I can do vocally. That's fun. A little backstory on that. The Circus of Satan started out as a Black Sabbath cover band.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. But long after, Volpe and Sapone. Sorry, I gotta get Sapone. I literally watched the documentary that's in Italian, and some of the parts are some of the interviews are translated.
Yes.
But they do, they're like Sapone. So I have to. That is ingrained in me. So not long after, Volpe and Sapone began to rob cemeteries for decorative items for their shows. Fueled by drugs and alcohol, Sapone and Volpe began to drag more and more members of the Circus of Satan into a hidden satanic cult, simply known as the Beasts of Satan.
The Beast of Satan.
Yes, which is a way fucking cooler band name.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the Circus of Satan sounds like you're gonna dress up and put devil horns on and juggle, but the Beast of Satan sounds like I'm about to hear crushing black metal, and I'm super.
Yeah, I was like the Circus of Satan to me makes me think of juggalos that are just a step above what they are.
Yes, absolutely. So cutting back to the investigation, Michelle had to basically tell the police how to look for his son. Police didn't even look into Fabio's room until Michelle forced them to. Which, how many times have we heard a story like that?
Yeah.
They didn't seem to find much, but at Chiara's house, it was a completely different story. Her room was filled with satanic imagery, verses, and other items like inverted crosses, which technically aren't satanic. If you want to know, I could tell you. I can tell you why they're not.
Yeah, it's
Anybody?
it's a whole thing. I know why.
Yeah.
I know why, but
Do
you know why?
No, I'm like,
I believe it was Saint Peter, was it?
It was. I can't remember who exactly. St. Peter does sound correct.
Let me double check.
was-
I believe it's Saint Peter.
It's
Yes. Oh, right.
Okay.
So Saint Peter, when he was crucified, he was being crucified like Christ, right? Per the story, and he basically said he was not worthy to be crucified like Christ, be upright onto the
The cross.
cross. And so he said that he should be crucified upside down because he was not as holy. Basically being like, I'm not worthy to be crucified like Jesus.
Yeah.
And so they hung him upside down, and so thus the people have attributed it to being like, fucking rock on.
that sounds so much worse though.
Yeah, honestly though, you'd probably die faster.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds terrible.
I mean, you'll probably you will die faster because all the blood rushes to your head.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, no, it's not satanic in true origin. It's still a part of Catholicism and Christianity.
it is. So while the room full of occult items was an eyebrow raiser, police still believe that the pair is still just lovebirds on the run. Meanwhile, Michelle's putting up posters, talking to witnesses, basically just kind of doing his best since the police were kind of just phoning it in. Police even criticized Michelle for his investigation by saying, like, you're busting our balls. Like, why you busting our balls?
Come on.
Yeah. Like,
What are you doing here?
my balls, eh? You're busting my balls. Gabagool. I had to get one in. There'll be more. A few days later, Michelle showed up to Paolo's home unannounced, right? Ozzy. I'll just call him Ozzy for the sake of continuity. Showed up at Ozzy's house unannounced, hoping that he would add another piece to the puzzle. Ozzy's mother greeted Michelle and invited him inside because it's like, oh, your son plays with my son in that heavy metal band. Gabagool.
Boy.
Gabagool. So invites him inside and invites Michelle to look in Ozzy's room. And his room is fucking full of goblets and demon figurines, and there's a goat head on the wall, and it's just wall to wall on every touchable surface. It's covered in satanic imagery. Which is fucking sweet, dude. Fucking sweet. Hey, look at that, right by me. Speaking of which, actually, all my satanic stuff is in view. That's very funny. Yeah, satanic temple. That's kind of fun. Things with my name on it. Anyway.
I was gonna say too, like for me, I think it's kind of funny because it's like he has all of the satanic symbolism, but like wasn't he like digging it up and getting that? So it's like it wasn't out of pocket.
That was Volpe's Sapone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ozzy he just had all this other cool shit.
Oh, okay.
He was like, fucking, like, I like the decor, dude.
I like the decor.
I like the fucking decor, dude. Sick. So, with all of this, Michelle was convinced that the members of the Circus of Satan were hiding something, and he fucking knew it. Knew it. Excuse me. Every member present that night had the same exact story, the same words, as if they were trying to convince themselves more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle engrossed himself in the heavy metal scene after his son disappeared, right? He started looking at every possible angle to discredit and prove his theory to be true. He was going to fucking shows. He was going to underground black metal shows. Mm-hmm. He was like visiting these places where like these satanic people were hanging out. Yeah. He was drinking with them. And he was like deep in the scene.
Yeah.
Trying to find out what happened.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking cool. It's so cool. Michelle told us is the coolest dad ever. Because it's like a movie, he has a wife at home, and his wife is like obviously distraught because their son's been missing for. Mm-hmm. I mean, he ended up being missing for years, which I'll get to it in the story. But he like did like a full blown like almost CIA probe on this fucking scene.
Whoa!
Was like discovering people's real names, was going out like interviewing people in like dark alleyways and clubs, and being like, hey, you gonna know anything about any satanic cults going on, like stuff like. I mean. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, Fabio and Chiara's disappearance becomes a cold case. Another ghost in the system. We've talked about that, right? But at the crack of dawn in January of 2004, a young man is reported to be seen mumbling to himself and possibly under the influence of drugs. This would be none other than Andrea Isidon Volpe. When police made contact with Volpe, they could tell that Volpe seemed distressed. Rightfully so, as Volpe admits he had taken a combination of cocaine, heroin, and amphetamine cocktail, which I imagine was a bit rough on the system.
Probably, yeah.
It's like, let's see, upper, downer, upper. Does not seem like a fun party.
Up, down, left, right, start.
Like alcohol and cocaine, sure. Alcohol and heroin, sure. It's like down. That's pretty good, but then nothing like amphetamine mixed with cocaine and heroin. No, I don't know how his heart's even beating. After police interrogate Volpe, a terrifying story begins to unfold. He tells a story about how he was driving his car, and his girlfriend Elisabetta Ballerin was driving behind him, and that she had been possibly assaulted and crashed. But he could not provide the location as he was under the influence. He was not really making a lot of sense. Police eventually are able to find Elisabetta, who was actively overdosing at the time, and both Elisabetta and Volpe were transported to the hospital. And this would actually be a key part in the story, right? That car. That car is a very key part in the story because she was found, obviously, in this car. At the hospital, Elisabetta wakes up and she begins to yell and scream. Nurses come in and they're trying to hold her down. She's thrashing about and she's screaming about sacrifices and blood and Satan. And they're like, great. This is great. Like, we're going to ketamine, a horse tranquilizer. And then just like, they're like, you need to calm down for a little bit. Meanwhile, at the police station, law enforcement discovered that the vehicle that Elisabetta was found in was not owned by her or Volpe. Instead, it was registered to Volpe's former girlfriend, 27-year-old Mariangela Pezziottia's mother. Mariangela's mother tells police that she knew something was wrong since Volpe was involved. Because they were together and they separated because he's a habitual drug addict and a fucking crazy person that robs graveyards. So
fair enough.
Yeah, Mariangela was involved in the Circus of Satan in the group, and then kind of just distanced herself over time because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, as you might imagine, law enforcement take her word for it, which is surprising, and go and conduct a search at the summer cabin of Elisabetta and Volpe. The cabin itself is dilapidated, furniture overturned, and the only living thing in that place was a boa constrictor, which seems pretty on the nose, right? that the two satanic fucking drug addicts have a snake in their house. Anybody? All right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it until now. I was like, wow, that's very, very funny and ironic. But it is when police go around back to their greenhouse that they make a gruesome discovery. The hands and feet of Mariangela Pezziottia were sticking out from a shallow grave, haphazardly buried.
Ooh.
To investigators, it was clear the manner of death. She had been shot and then beat to death. But to make matters worse is that she was actually found to have dirt in her lungs, which means that she did not die from the beating or being shot. She had died from being buried alive.
Oh, fuck.
Police obviously take Volpe into custody because, obviously. Volpe maintained that it was all a big accident. It's a big misunderstanding. Okay, it's a big misunderstanding, guy. Yes, we shot her. Yes, we fucking hit her to death, and then we buried her alive. But it's a big misunderstanding. You're an idiot. You're the dumbest man alive.
She's a zombie, obviously.
I wish crimes were this easy to solve all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, that's really interesting that you said that. You keep that in mind, what you just said.
Okay.
It's very weird that you just said that. My ESP's going off. So Volpe basically said he was showing Mariangela the gun, right? And they were drinking. Accident went off. striked her, at which point Elisabetta came up to see what happened. They both freaked the fuck out, and they haphazardly buried Mariangela. And police were like, interesting. No. That's that's completely incorrect. You're wrong. Not only are you wrong, but you're fucking super wrong, because she was also beat to death and buried alive. And Volpe, they go, Volpe, scusi. Scusa. Thank you. Scusa, Volpe. But try it again. try that again. Is that good? I do good. You're the only Italian here, so.
No,
And the one that speaks Italian.
I mean, the only part that was said in Italian was scusa, and that's because I helped you.
Whatever. But they go, scusa. Try it again, and basically stop lying. Tell the truth. So this time, he kind of tells a half-truth. We'll get the full truth later on.
Yeah.
Volpe had indeed invited Mariangela over to celebrate. But after she arrived, an argument occurred. Volpe brandished a gun to basically frighten and threaten her.
Yeah.
At which point he accidentally shot her in the neck. Both Volpe and Elisabetta panicked. So they called none other than Nicola Sapone, the other counterpart who was helping him rob graveyards for stuff, right?
Yeah.
Key member of the Circus of Satan. So Sapone arrives, and it becomes clear that Mariangela is still alive. Sapone criticizes Volpe, saying, "You can't even kill a girl? Like, you're an idiot. You can't even kill a girl." Sapone and Volpe wrap Mariangela up in a tarp and drag her out to the greenhouse, where Sapone would then use a spade to deliver a few blows before they buried her in the shallow grave.
Ooh.
Thinking that they killed her, but obviously that was not the case. Once the deed was done, Sapone advised Volpe to take Mariangela's car, drive to the river, put it in the river, but we obviously know what happened. They never made it to the river.
Yeah.
Elisabetta was driving and she was overdosing and she crashed the car. Right? Mm-hmm. That's how all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But the main question to investigators is why? Why was Mariangela murdered? Was it an ex-boyfriend who was on drugs and feeling the madness? Michel Tolis, the father of Fabio Tolis, we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
he knew better. This wasn't a random murder. This was a silencing. Not long after the arrest of Elisabetta and Volpe, Michel meets with police and provides everything he has discovered in the years of his son's disappearance. The rituals, the signs, and the possibility that this is all connected to one big thing. Satanism.
Oh.
I feel like
That flames.
I should have added a little lightning, like a little thunder sound effect to the keypad. That would have been great. Meanwhile, Nicola Sapone is taken into custody and questioned by law enforcement. Sapone admits that he did indeed receive a call from Volpe and that he did go to the house and see a dead woman, but he was not involved. It's basically Sapone's word versus Volpe's, so Sapone is released pending a continuing investigation because they literally don't have anything on him, right?
Yeah.
But due to Michel Tolis' investigation, law enforcement finally opens their eyes to see the truth. That something weird was happening around this Circus of Satan group, and that its occultism is playing a huge part. By May of 2004, which is a few months after, Volpe, with the direction of his lawyer, finally agreed to tell police everything. The group was not really called the Circus of Satan, but the Beast of Satan.
Oh.
And they did not commit one murder, but 4 in total.
Oh.
Mariangela Pezzotta, Andrea Bontadi, Chiara Marino, and Fabio Tolis. All killed at the hands of the Beast of Satan.
The beast has a hunger.
Yes. I just feel like I need what is it? Some like Metallica playing.
Yes, yeah.
The da-na-na-na-na. Oh, not Metallica. Slayer. Slayer is what I'm thinking of.
I have a side note.
Yes.
That is pertinent to at least the Metallica part. The new prime minister of Japan is a woman, and she
Girl boss.
she formerly, I'm not even joking about this, she formerly was like part of a heavy metal band. Like, she was the drummer, and she would take sticks around with her. Like, that's how invested she is. And she had said that her inspiration was Margaret Thatcher, but like she's like super into heavy metal.
That's so fucking
like
sweet,
in a
dude.
big way.
I makes me love Japan even more. Japan is super big for metal. I could do a whole episode just about. I mean, I could do a whole Beyond the Omens, just about talking about heavy metal and how much I love it. So, obviously the 4 people all died at the hands of the Beast of Satan. The real truth behind Mary Angela's murder finally comes to light. Volpe reveals that Sapone had ordered Volpe to murder Mary Angela, as she knew too much and was beginning to drift away from the group, becoming a liability. Sapone was worried that Mary Angela would go to the police regarding Chiara's and Fabio's murder, and that Volpe didn't take care of her, Sapone would both kill him and Elisabetta.
Oh, okay.
Basically, if you don't kill her, I'm killing the both of you. And he would have.
Yeah.
To fully understand the story, police had to look back in time to January of 1998, the disappearance.
Yeah.
The Circus of Satan had an internal entity, the Beast of Satan, a satanic cult, which had been growing for some time by that point. The group began to attract more and more members, mainly people who were drug addicts and kind of bad people, but also some people who just were like, fucking metal, dude, edgy, right?
Fuck yeah.
And, of course, that being of Chiara Marino and their new band member, Fabio Toles, because Fabio played in the band. I believe he played guitar in the band. And Chiara is the only female at the time inside the Circus of Satan, which didn't really sit well with the members of the Beast, of the Circus of Satan, Beast of Satan, because they were all jealous because they're all drug addicts and they're crazy. So they were just jealous of Fabio because they're like, why is this fucking hot goth chick talking to him and she should be talking to us?
Oh, okay.
Basically the crux of it.
Yeah.
So this kind of builds up for a while. And eventually comes to the day of the disappearance, where earlier in the day, members of the Beast of Satan, not including Fabio and Chiara, had gone out in Milan to dig a gravesite in the woods. That evening, they advised the pair that they would be conducting a satanic ritual. Fabio and Chiara were invited to participate. Fabio could sense that something was off and said that he would like to just go home. He was like, I'm tired, I don't really want to do that. But Andrea Volpe, that same night, had forced Fabio to make that phone call to his dad and say, hey, tell me you want to go to Chiara's house. So instead of him being alone at the bistro with him and Chiara, and they're like, oh, maybe we'll go to your house and do it. No, the members of the Circus of Satan are standing around him, coaching him what to say. Like, you're going to tell him you're going to do this. Like, this is where you're going to
Oh, wow.
And they basically tell the pair, hey, we're going to go to another pub, and then we're going to go do our ritual. But instead of going to the different pub, the group drives into the woods, where the core members of the Beast of Satan have them get out of the car, and they stab and beat the pair to death with hammers, actually crushing Fabio's skull with the hammer.
Oh, shit.
Before dumping their bodies into the grave. The members of the Beast of Satan then began to urinate on the bodies of the teens before burying them. Afterwards, Andrea Volpe, Nicola Sapone, and Mario Marcon dance on the grave, laughing and singing, now you're both zombies. Try to get out of this hole if you dare.
Oh, okay. There. Yeah.
Yeah. The following day, they returned to sprinkle lye on the grave to deter animals from digging it up. But what about Andrea Bontade? Well, he was killed by the group in the September of 1998, a few months following the murders.
Yeah.
Bontade was supposed to be with the group on the night of the double homicide, but actually failed to show up because he was actually there. He had actually gone and helped the group dig the grave earlier today. He was actually going to be involved,
Right.
but decided for whatever reason not to do it. And the group psychologically tortured him for months until he eventually committed suicide by crashing his car into a wall at high speed, obviously.
So, like, there was no, like, that was definitely a suicide. That's what it was ruled?
It was technically rule of suicide. Yeah.
Okay.
He was the only one involved.
Okay.
So, the members of the Circus Satan are wrangled up and arrested and tried. On February 22nd, 2005, Andrea Volpe, Petio, Guerrero was sentenced in the northern city of Busto Arzullo to 30 and 16 years, respectively. Volpe, in addition to the 1998 murders, was found guilty in 2004 slaying of Mariangela. In Volpe's case, the sentence was a decade longer than requested by prosecutors. A third suspect, Mario Marcone, who had also confessed to the murders, but was cleared to do his secondary role in the crimes, which is fucking weird. Italy's weird with their laws. The reactions of the victims' families to the sentencing were mixed. Michelle Tolis told Fabio, the father of Fabio, said that, quote, "Today justice rewarded me." Lina Marino, the mother of the slain Chiaro, was outraged at the respectively light sentences of Volpe and Guerrieri, which had received due to their cooperation with prosecutors. She stated, "They are murderers. This is not fair," which I think is fair in her aspect of it, because they got a lesser sentence because they basically told them where the bodies were. Because when investigators went out there, they were like, we were never going to find them. Where it was at. It was never going to happen.
Yeah.
5 more members of the Circus of Satan went to trial in June 2005 and were sentenced to long prison terms in early 2006. Niccolo Sapone, the leader of the group and the suspected mastermind behind the killings, received a life sentence. The other 4, Paolo Leone, Ozzy, and Marco Zappallo, Erios Monstrado, and Elisabetta Balin were sentenced between 24 and 26 years for the roles in all 3 murders, right? The 3 actual murders not attributed to the suicide. In 2007, the Court of Appeals confirmed the life sentence for Sapone and lengthened the convictions of the other 3 members of the group. Paolo Leone's 26 sentence became a life sentence. Marco Zappallo went from 26 to 29 years and 2 months. Fuck you for that 2 months. Erdos Monstrados was sentenced from 24 years to 27 years and 3 months. The same sentence increase as Zappallo. Elisabetta sentence was reduced from 24 years and 3 months to just 23 years, which doesn't really make much of a difference. And in May 2008, the final courts of Cazione confirmed the appeals decision. Basically, get fucked. You guys are staying in prison. Andrea,
Is it good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And this was a while ago. So Andrea Volpe was released from prison in 2020 and is currently studying science of education.
Yeah, I was gonna say a couple of those other guys, like if everything happened in 2005, then they'd probably be out like by the early 2030s.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Or you could just keep them in.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
No.
Yep. Elisabetta, who was involved in the murder of Mariangela in 2004 and jail for accessory murder in 2006, is now free and trying to turn a page on her past. She had worked in a restaurant in northern Italy and is currently living abroad. Maybe in a city near you. Yeah. So the involvement of the Beast of Satan has been suspected to up to 14 other unresolved cases in the same area in the same time frame, including alleged suicide, disappearance, and violent deaths of people allegedly tied to the members of the group. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's a little more than the 4.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 18.
Yeah.
And among these, 31-year-old Fabio Rapale, whose body was found mummified in the wood near Pontemole on September 6, 1996. 23-year-old construction worker Christian Figueiredo from Brogueiro, allegedly a former member of the group who disappeared on November 14, 1996. His body was never been found. Mario Marcone connected his disappearance to the group in 2008, but then later redacted it, recounted it, and said, maybe not. Maybe let's talk about that. 21-year-old Andrea Balerin, a childhood friend of Volpe, found hanged in the school he had attended on May 7, 1999. His suicide was connected to the Beast of Satan by Volpe and later Maricon, but police found that Volpe's confession and description of the events unreliable. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of weird that the 2 also brought it up. I don't know. 28-year-old Angelo Lombardo, the caretaker of the cemetery of Lugano, and an acquaintance of members of the group had been burned alive in the cemetery on December 14, 1999, which is fucking crazy. 26-year-old Dario Mola was found hanged in the woods near Carvina Con Presento on December 27, 2000. 21-year-old Luca Colombo, a flower seller and friend of Sapone, was found hanged. And that was in 2004. 18-year-old carpenter Alberto Scaramazzuno from Dialogro was found burned alive in his car. And there's been various other like members of the group, such as Sapone, Volpellone, Sabalo, Mazzaro, who have been accused of other crimes in areas around Milan. There was also a attempted murder on Fabio before he was actually killed by the group. Be the same. They'd actually lit the gas tank of the car that he was in on fire.
Yeah.
Tried to trap him inside, but he was able to escape. And then they basically told him, "It's an act of courage. You did it. You did well. You weren't afraid."
Oh God.
They were trying to kill him.
Yeah, I'd be like big old hard pass on that one.
Yeah, if my friend's trying to kill me, it's gonna be a big bummer.
Yeah, that's a fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm fucking dead.
Yes. Let me get my liquid death so I may talk more.
Thirsty?
Yes.
Get yourself a liquid death.
Get yourself a liquid death. But that was the story of the beasts of Satan.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Isn't that a crazy story, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Story of rock and roll or heavy metal, and murder and Satanism. Mm-hmm. And then once I take a little break here for a moment and drink this water, I'm going to do another story of heavy metal, murder, and Satan. It's not going to end. Actually, there's a lot of arson in this next part.
Oh.
Which is pretty cool. This is actually a story that I wanted to cover for a while.
What's a better way to put out fires other than liquid death?
It's true. Yeah, that's very true. And a lot of people, you know, I've told it to a lot of people.
I've said that very thing to many people.
Taylor hears me say it all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, let's head to Norway. Talk about heavy metal, arson, and murder.
I feel like Norway is like such a epicenter for.
Oh, we're about to talk about a lot of Norwegian black metal.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be pretty much the whole crux of it. We're kind of talking about like thrash and shit.
Yeah.
Like satanic heavy metal thrash. Now we're talking about Norwegian black metal.
Okay.
How else are you going to get rid of those Viking-like energies other than shifting it in to something else?
Other than playing a 9-minute song.
9-minute song seems to do it.
You know, it's funny when I worked at the aeropuerto, at the airport. Mm-hmm. I worked at an airport for a while. Mm-hmm. There was a pilot that I met, and some members of my band actually worked at the airport with me. We played Satanic Deathcore, which is very funny. Mm-hmm. And we met a pilot, and he goes, "Oh, I play in a band too." And we're like, "Oh, cool." He probably plays like yacht rock, you know, like something fucking boring. Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, look me up on Spotify." So he looked me on Spotify, and him and a bunch of pilots, like from the same company, all played black metal. Oh,
that's crazy.
Which is fucking crazy. Sound like it was recorded on one of those like Fisher Price like record and play.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and just like, and couldn't understand it, but I'm like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah,
that's like the last person I would expect to play like black metal. It's so sick.
It's so funny though.
So during the 1980s, black metal was a loose collective of a few heavy metal bands that shared satanic lyrics. However, most of the first wave of bands employed Satanism, primarily for shock value. Right? Mayhem's debut EP, Death Crush, 1987, was one of the most influential releases from the first wave of black metal, largely founding the early Norwegian black metal scene. The band drew from the influence of the first wave of black metal, such as Hellhammer, Venom, Bathory, the punk of Ambix, GBH, Discharge, and my fucking favorite, the Misfits.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love the Misfits.
I love the Misfits, dude. What's your favorite Misfits song?
I haven't listened to them in a long time.
That's crazy. Bill, you listen to Misfits?
So this is literally gonna blow your mind. I've been to a Misfits concert when I was in Wichita. They had performed at some venue that's on Douglas Street. So if you're from Wichita, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I didn't know any of their songs. I couldn't tell you any now. But it was like such an awesome experience, and I just like remember feeling like, man, I wish I could have gone back in the day, because I feel like that would have been really tight.
Dude, I love the Misfits. I think my favorite Misfits song is probably London Dungeon.
London Dungeon.
Yeah, I think that's probably. Some people would say, when Eagles Dare or Astro Zombie, but London Dungeon just has. I love London Dungeon. It's a fun story behind it.
I generally
It's a ridiculous story.
haven't listened to them in a hot minute because I forget they exist.
I was listening to when I was writing this episode.
Well, they usually come up on playlists.
Yeah.
And you can always tell that it's them, but I'm awful at remembering names of literally anything. I barely know my name half the time, so remembering song names is
That's fair. So, but
hard
yeah,
for me.
there were some other experimental groups that kind of contributed to the foundation of black metal, because Misfits isn't black metal; it's horror punk.
Yeah,
sure.
I can get way nerdy into this, but there was other bands that were experimental, like Tangerine Dream and Pink Floyd, that kind of contributed style and sound to how black metal eventually turned out.
Pink Floyd's crazy though.
It is very much a curveball to all
I
of it.
wouldn't expect it.
In the book Lords of Chaos, Mayhem was credited as the band who combined the influence of the desperate styles of black metal's first wave and created the style that is understood today as black metal. Mm-hmm. In 1998, the band hired a vocalist per Dead Olhlin, Jesus Christ, these are all Swedish names. It's gonna be bad. Of the Swedish band Morbid, Dead, who wore corpse paint, black and white makeup to achieve ghastly appearance, according to Mayhem's bassist Necro Butcher. Quote, "It wasn't anything to do with the way Kiss and Alice Cooper used makeup. Dead actually wanted to look like a corpse because he didn't do it to look cool." Was that good? This would go on to be the hallmark of Norwegian black metal scene. Dead would also bury his stage clothes and dig them up to wear on concert nights, which is fucking sick.
Okay, so now I'm understanding why that thing I dropped on before, you were like, oh, hold on to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the last story, talked about how they're now you're zombies.
Yes.
He's digging up his clothes to smell like the grave. Smell like the grave.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm basically, yes.
you could just find a cologne or a perfume that has petrichor as one of its base notes. That would be so much easier.
But it wouldn't be super heavy metal.
The only other thing I will add here too is if you want to smell like a corpse, you can also get a BBL, because that has been a noted thing. Is that
Big Blue Latinos?
No, a Brazilian butt lift, because of the excess, basically necroting flesh that's in the fake buttocks. It has a distinctive smell, and it smells like dead flesh.
The more you know.
Telling me Kim K smells like...
There is a greater than 0% chance that her ass stinks. That is a fact. The same thing is true of Nicki Minaj and all of those that are pushing out those BBLs. Definitely make sure you keep it clean. That's all I can say.
Very good. That was a very fun fact, Bill. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm basically going to be talking a lot about Norwegian black metal before I get to the actual murders.
Okay.
So, buckle up. Other than the first wave, Norwegian black metal bands included Old Funeral, which formed in 1988. Stigma Diabolocum, formed in 1989, later changed its name to Thorns, and Mortem, formed in 1989. Mayhem's guitarist Oystein, I think I'm pronouncing that. People know him as Euronymous.
Okay.
Euronymous and Blackthorn Jesus Christ. And Snorne Blackthorn Rush of Thorns developed a style of riffing where guitarists played full chords utilizing the strings of the guitar instead of relying on power chords, which typically use only 2 or 3 strings. And I'm just trying to get you to the understanding of like the style, like the dark, brooding black metal. People were dressing up in fucking grave clothes for fuck's sake. So, on April 8th, 1991, Mayhem vocalist and lyricist Per Olhen, so using the same name as Dead, right, committed suicide with a shotgun while alone in the house he shared with the band. Basically stuck underneath his chin, blew his brains out. Fellow musicians described Dead as odd, introverted, and depressed. For performances, he made him look himself like a corpse and engaged in self-harm while performing, which is very G.G. Allen of him. Dead was discovered by Mayhem guitarist Euronymous with his wrists and throat slit and a gunshot wound to his forehead. Before calling police, Euronymous took a camera and photographed the body after rearranging some of the items. And this would later be used on the bootleg live album Dawn of the Black Hearts. Has anyone seen that?
I haven't seen the cover, but I do know that story and what you're talking about.
Yes, Euronymous is gonna play a key part in the rest of the story. But yeah, that's if you haven't seen it, it's fucking crazy. It's his legit suicide.
Wow.
Like his head's all exploded and it's wild.
That's insane.
But Mayhem and these guys,
Yeah.
these were also some of the guys that Beast of Satan were listening to. So it's all connected. It's all connected.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And Euronymous exploited Dead's suicide to enhance Mayhem's evil imagery, claiming that Dead had killed himself because the black metal scene became trendy and commercialized. Which, yeah, I see H&M fucking putting out black metal t-shirts all the time. Ridiculous. He credited necklaces purportedly made from fragments of Dead's skull and distributed them to musicians he considered worthy. He actually, that's actually one of the most insane parts about that, is that he took like pieces of like his skull and shit that were like pushed in the wall from the shotgun and made like a necklace and would give it to his bandmates and shit.
Fuck, man.
Easy.
Which is pretty cool. It's fucking was so wild.
I promise you, no matter what happens, guys, I'm not gonna do that to you. I won't do that just to blow the podcast up. But maybe that might be what it takes. So check in with me in a little bit.
Yep. I will be building my killdozer, and if you want to have your name signed on the outside, let me know. So the suicide and the subsequent making of necklaces of his friend's skull obviously created a rift between Euronymous and some of his friends, particularly Necro Butcher, who was disgusted by his attitude towards Dead. For good reason. Some claim that Euronymous went into a fantasy world and tried to be as extreme as he talked about. In the months following the event saw the formation of Norwegian black metal bands such as Carpathian Forest, Emperor, Enslaved, Immortal, and so many more. Many musicians in the acts had previously seen members of death metal bands, while other bands such as Dark Throne instead changed their sound from death metal to black metal. Two members of the scene would later also commit suicide. And it's all just kind of see how this whole scene, especially around the Piece of Satan and things like that, a lot of death involved, a lot of suicides. I mean, I talked about it in the Piece of Satan. Now there's like 14 attributed deaths, suspected death. A lot of them were suicides. So, Mayhem guitarist Euronymous was, quote, the central figure involved in the formation of the Norwegian black metal scene, which he almost single-handedly founded. During June 1991, he opened up a record shop in Helvete, which is Norwegian for hell, which is awesome. The group was located at Schwissengards Gate 56 in Oslo. Norwegian black metal musicians often gathered at the shop and in its basement. These included members of Mayhem, members of Emperor Varg, Count Jesus Christ, Varg, Count Gordoshk, Vorkanas. Varg is also going to be important. And members of Blackthorn. Euronymous also established an independent record label called Death Like Silence Productions, which is based in Helvete. This label regularly released albums by Norwegian bands such as Mayhem and Burzrum, Swedish bands Merciless and Abertorm, a Japanese band Psy. Euronymous, Varg, and Emperor guitarist Thomas and Hagen lived in the shop at various times Emperor drummer Bard Faust Ethon also lived and worked there. The shop's walls were painted black and adorned with medieval weapons, posters of bands, and picture discs, and they had a big-ass fucking tombstone. Like, I could, like, tell you the story and then go into the Beast of Satan, and it would be the exact same story. Like, it has that vibe, you know? During its operation, Helvete served as a key point, obviously, for black metal. And within just a few months of Helvete opening, many young musicians had become obsessed with Euronymous and his ideas, and soon Norwegian black metal transformed into black metal bands. Obviously, we talked about this, and just trying to emphasize how much this shit blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Because people were like, this guy's fucking crazy. We should do more of what he's doing.
Charisma.
Yes. So they began to form a group with all these musicians, right? Inside the shop. Individuals who gathered at Helvete had been referred to as the Black Circle or the Black Inner Circle, which fucking is not, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. A term coined by Euronymous. Euronymous portrayed the Black Circle as an organized cult-like militant of Satanists with activities funded by his record shop. Satanic cult formed by heavy metal musicians.
Yeah.
Seem familiar?
Yeah.
I can't wait to start my cult. I'm so excited. It's like, yay! Yay!
Yay!
I'm so excited.
Honestly, the first thing that I can think of is, what are you gonna do to set yourself apart from all the rest?
Well, you know, a lot of people have asked me that, Bill, and you know, I think it's just gonna be a combination of a lot of things. I think it'll be our music style,
Okay.
where we are on stage, and then I think it's gonna be a lot about you know, how we treat the community. I think we're gonna do a couple fundraisers, you know, like you know, volunteer animal shelters, you know, really true acts of evil.
Yeah.
And as a Satanist, that's what we do. True acts of evil. You know, my 11 satanic tenements, which are up there. I can read those, but, you know, you can look them online. Satanic Temple. Read about how I interact with the world, which is basically just be kind to others.
Yes.
So, in 1993, Kerrang, which is a famous magazine all about the music scene, described them as satanic terrorists. Faust later remarked that, quote, it was just a name that was invented for people who hung around the shop. There wasn't anything like the members and membership cards and official meetings. It's like super crazy that you think that. Yeah,
it's no big deal.
It's just no big deal. It's like whatever. Similarly, in review of Lucifer Rising, Varkanez claimed, quote, the so-called Black Circle was something that Euronymous made up because he wanted to make people believe that there was such a thing, but it was nonsense, never really existed. The media, on the other hand, believed that it existed for quite a while, but quickly stopped talking about it when they understood that it was just fake. Like, yes, it's not real.
Yes.
It's not real. If the Beast of Satan would have just stole stuff from some cemeteries and put it on stage, and they said, like, we have a satanic cult, and that was it,
Yeah.
that would have crushed. People would have been like, whoa, it's fucking crazy. And then, like, obviously they find out later on that it's not real. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Like I think about it, like, you don't have to do anything super crazy. Like, you could work at a morgue and, like, there was like a body that was donated. I don't know shit about this, so I could be entirely wrong. But like a body that was going to be given to science, and you could just be like, "Oh, I'm going to keep that head," and then people would be like, "Oh fuck, you killed that guy." You don't have to. It's the lore. That's what people go for.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the actual crimes getting attributed to these fellows in the Norwegian black metal scene, shall we? So in 1992, members of the Norwegian black metal scene initiated a wave of arson attacks on Christian churches.
Okay.
All right. Stay with me.
Yep.
I know some of you listening or watching are going like, fuck yeah, but no, not fuck yeah. Like, I know. Rock on. But by 1996, there had been at least 50 attacks in Norway, which is a lot.
Okay,
In every case that was solved, those responsible were identified as Norwegian black metal fans.
Okay.
Some of the target locations were hundreds of years old and regarding significant historical locations, which is not fucking cool. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave them alone. The first wave Norway's Fentoft State Church was reduced to ashes in June 1992. Authority believed that Varv Varkanes of Burzrum was responsible, and the cover of Burzrum's EP was called Esk, which translates to ashes, was photographed of the destroyed church. On May 16, 1994, Varkanes was found guilty of burning down another chapel. Holmkanen Chapel, Skål Church, and Asnen Church. I'm probably butchering these because they are in Swedish, and I cannot read that. Additionally,
I said I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, so you're fucking joshing.
I can read it.
Then
but
read it.
I don't have my glasses.
You don't need your glasses. It's 2 inches away from you.
It was not. It was
You got it.
skilled in the sign.
See, she got it. I don't have my glasses.
Well, you were
Additionally,
holding it in your lap and you're like, read this. Those are just black lines, friend. I can't read those.
It's insane. Additionally, he was convicted of an attempted arson of a fourth church and for the theft of a storage of 150 kilograms of explosives, which Lord knows what he was going to do with that.
Yeah,
I guess Satan
that's a
knows.
lot of fun right there.
Yeah, or Satan knows what he's going to do with it. Members of the Swedish black metal scene began burning churches as well in 1993. People were burning churches. A lot of churches.
Burning churches.
Yes. To coincide with the release of Mayhem's De Mysterious Dom Satanas, Valkanes and Euronymous allegedly plotted to bomb a cathedral, which appears on the album cover. Musicians Faust Samoth, both of Emperor, and Jorn Ingoltonsten of the Hades Almighty Band, were convicted of church arsons. Those convicted of church burnings expressed no remorse and described their actions as symbolic retaliation against Christianity in Norway. Mayhem drummer Hellhammer stated that he had called for attacks on mosques and Hindu temples.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Arguing that they were more foreign, which fucking shocker that he was going to do that. Today's opinions regarding the church bombings vary within the black metal community. Most musicians, singers, songwriters from the Norwegian black metal scene, such as Infernus and Gal of Gorgoroth, continued to praise the church burnings, later asserting, quote, "There should have been more of them, and there will be more of them."
There will be more.
There'll be more of them. Yeah, they were burning down a lot of churches. Conversely, with others, such as Necrobutcher and Kedgetil of Mayhem and Abath of Immortal, view the church burnings as ultimately futile. Basically, like, what's the fucking point? It's like you're just burning nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I have a list, and I'm not gonna read all of them because Lord knows. But let's see if it doesn't want to focus.
I think your brightness is too high.
My brightness is too high. Let's see if I can bring my brightness down a little bit. If I can do this, perhaps.
Oh, there we go.
See all those lines?
Yes.
And all that text? These are, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more too. Those are all arsons.
Oh my God.
Those are all arsons attributed to black metal.
Crazy.
That's why I said I'm not going to read it. It's,
right.
it's long.
Yeah.
It's a lot. There is so many, and they're like, a lot of them are like back to back to back to back to back. They're like, they fucking were burning churches.
That's crazy.
Big fan of that.
As far as what you know, was this inspiring anybody like internationally to do the same, or did it stay pretty local?
I mean, I'm sure it has inspired those to go and burn churches. You
Right,
know?
right.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's, who knows. So let's talk about some murder attributed to the black metal scene.
All
Shall we?
We
do it.
shall.
So on August 21st, 1992, Bard Faust Einhorn murdered Magne Andresen, who was a gay man, in Leinhammer. According to Faust, while walking home at night, a man had approached him and made a sexual advance towards him, probably calling him cute, flirting with him a little bit.
Yeah.
And Faust agreed to walk with him to the Olympic Park. Once in the woods, Faust then stabbed Andresian 37 times and then kicked him in the head repeatedly as he laid on the ground.
Jeez.
Faust claimed that he had felt no remorse at the time. In the late 1990s, he reflected on the murder, stating, "I was outside, just wanting to get out some aggression. It's not easy to describe why it happened. It was meant to happen. And if it was this man or another man, that's not really important." And his band member, Eison, remarked that Faust had been, quote, very fascinated by serial killers for a long time, and I guess he wanted to know what it was like to kill somebody.
Oh.
Yeah. Initially, the police had no suspects. Faust remained free for approximately a year. However, he confided to Euronymous and Varg, the church boner,
Yeah.
and a few others about his crime. The day following the stabbing, he returned to Oslo and allegedly burned down the Holmenkollen Chapel with Varkanes and Euronymous. After the murder of Euronymous in 1993, which I think it was a bit of a spoiler. Yes. Well, whatever. He died. He died. Faust was arrested and confessed to Andres' murder in 1994. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison for the murder, which seems low for a murder where you stab a guy 37 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like
If it was 38 times life, but that 37, they're like, you showed a little bit of restraint.
I fucking guess. So, in January 1993, an article in Norway's largest newspaper, Borgernes Tindede, BT, it's called BT, brought the black metal scene into the media spotlight. Two members of Varkanes interviewed him and submitted the interview to the newspaper, hoping for publication. In an anonymous interview, let's call him the Count, which is Varkanes, claimed he had burned churches and that they had killed a man in Lighthammer. BT journalist Finn Bjorn arranged a meeting with the Count. Journalists were summoned to an apartment which allegedly warned that they would be shot if they called the police. There, Varkanes and his companions told the journalists that they had burned the churches or knew who had done it and warned that the attacks would continue. They claimed to be devil worshippers and stated, "Our intention is to spread fear and evil." Rock on. Fucking dummies. They provided journalists with details about the arson that had not been publicly released to the press, prompting BT to consult with the police before publication, who confirmed these details. They had basically then published the article with a big headline that says, "We set the churches on fire," which included a photo of Varkanes in his face, mostly obscured, holding two knives. However, by the time the article was printed, Varkanes had already been arrested. So,
Oh.
yeah, there was not a way he was going to get out of that.
No.
Yeah, police allegedly tracked him down by visiting an address listed on a Berzerum flyer, although Varkanes believes that the interviewer, the journalist, had betrayed him.
Oh.
According to Varkanes, the anonymous interview was orchestrated by him and Euronymous with the aim of spreading fear and promoting black metal and attracting more customers to Helvete. Varkanes remarked to the interviewer, quote, "I exaggerated a lot, and when the journalists left, we had a good laugh because he didn't seem to understand that I was pulling his leg." And basically, these guys were just fucking around, except for that one guy who actually went and killed somebody.
Yes.
I mean, they were burning down churches, which it's not really like, you're a little goofball. Probably shouldn't be burning down churches.
Yeah.
But one guy was like, "And I killed somebody," and they're like, "What?" Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, all right, we gotta talk to you about some stuff. But yeah, they basically were just going around. They were like trying to make it seem like they were like super evil Satanists and that they were the epitome of evil. And they're like, "That's why we're burning down churches." But I'm sure they're just firebugs.
Yeah.
You know, they're just firebugs.
Probably.
They like to just fuck around. So Euronymous decides to close Helvete as it begins to attract a lot of attention from police and media because obviously all the arsons and murder. Varkanes criticized Euronymous for shutting down the shop instead of capitalizing on publicity, stating, "By doing so, he made it so all my efforts and more efforts more or less were pointless. I spent 6 weeks in custody because of that. Norwegian magazine Rock Fortoy published an interview with Varkanes in February 1993. In it, he commented on the prison system, saying, "It's much too nice here. It's not hell at all. In countries, prisoners get a bed, toilet, and a shower. It's completely ridiculous. I asked the police to throw me in a real dungeon and encouraged them to use real violence," which they did not. And he was released in March. So,
Come on, guys! I think you're gonna do the real thing.
come on, guys, he's like kicking the ground. He's like, "No one ever wants to torture me." I guess, like, whatever. Like, you guys, I don't know. You guys suck, I guess.
I've got a gun. Like, isn't that gonna get you guys to do anything? Come on.
Yeah. So, in early 1993, tensions escalated between Euronymous and Varkanes. On the night of August 10th, 1993, Varkanes and Blackthorn traveled to Bergen to Euronymous' apartment in Oslo. Upon their arrival, a confrontation ensued, during which Varkanes fatally stabs Euronymous to death.
Oh.
There's your other murder. His body was discovered outside the apartment bearing 23 stab wounds, 2 in the head, 5 to the neck, and 16 to the back.
Mm.
You know,
I was like, there's definitely a reference to Caesar there somewhere.
somewhere. Speculation surrounding the murder suggests it stemmed from a power struggle, a financial dispute over Burzum records, or attempt to outdo a previous stabbing that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Varkanes, however, refutes these claims, asserting he killed Euronymous in self-defense. He contends that Euronymous had devised a plan to incapacitate him with an electroshock weapon, bind him, and torture him to death while filming the event, using a meeting regarding an unsigned contract as a ruse to ambush him. Varkanes claims that he intended to present Euronymous with a signed contract that night and tell him to, quote, "fuck off." But Euronymous, that's an actual quote.
That's funny.
It's
Straight and to the point.
It's very funny. But that Euronymous panicked and attacked him first. Faust had expressed skepticism regarding his self-defense claims. Faust is the guy who stabbed that other guy.
Yeah.
For no reason. While Necrobutcher claims or believes that Varkanes killed Euronymous, and there's a lot of fucking crazy names in this, due to the death threats he had received from him. Necrobutcher claimed that he had also intended to murder Euronymous himself due to the tasteless exploitation of Death's suicide, because he was in the band with him in Mayhem, and he was like, "I'm just gonna fucking kill this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's a douchebag." But someone else beat him with a punch. Varkanes was apprehended on August 19, 1993, and many other individuals within the scene were questioned by around the same time. Some confessed to their crimes and implicated others. Basically, "I didn't burn that church, but I burned this other church, and so did he." It's like, you fucking idiot. In May 1994, Varkanes was sentenced to 21 years in prison in Norway's maximum security penitentiary for the murder of Euronymous, the arson of 4 churches, and possession of the 150 kilograms of explosives.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
2 churches were set ablaze on the day of the sentencing, presumably a statement of symbolic support for the satanic gods, if you will. Blackthorn received 8 years in prison sentence for his role in the murder. The month following the release of Mayhem's album De Mysteriis Dom Satanas, featuring Euronymous' guitar and Varkanes' bass guitar, Euronymous' family had requested that Mayhem's drummer Hellhammer remove the bass tracks recorded by Varkanes, but Hellhammer stated, quote, "I thought it would be inappropriate that the murder and the victim were on the same record." And Varkanes was released from prison in 2009. So he's out in Norway, probably making some black metal, which I actually knew that because he's done like interviews and stuff since then. But all in all, it's not Satanism that drives people to kill. It's not Satanism that drives people to do dark things. It's people who are, as the prosecutor and the judge in the Beast of Satan case was, it's mainly the poorly educated and people who are down on their luck, usually on drugs, and are fucking kind of out of their lacking control. They look at a symbol like Satanism and they latch onto it and they go, I'm going to be bad just like Satan. I'm going to use Satanism as my weapon and to control and make fear upon people. But real Satanists like myself, Peter the Black, it's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. So it's not Satanism that killed these people. It's people that killed these people.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is our story.
I was gonna say
Stories.
stories. I very much feel like that is really a message that we know, because it's like the same thing can be said of like school shooters and people
Yeah.
who do that. They latch on to something, they become obsessed with it, they isolate themselves, or they find community in those who are isolated,
Yeah.
and then they're like, this is the way. And it's like, it's easy to blame it on things that people find foreign or they don't understand,
Yes.
such as the
Yeah.
Satanism. And it's like, it's wild because of the fact that it's like, you don't know what people are about. You don't know what people are going through. And like, especially nowadays, it's so easy to just grab on it and be like, yep, that's easy. And it's like, do you even know anything about that? Or did you just read about it and hear about it, and then that's it?
I have converted several of my friends to Satanistic beliefs. It's very funny because like I've been a Satanist for a long time, you know, and it was only within the last, I would say, decade that I've really kind of been like, all right, man, this is what I'm about, you know. And my friends were like, you know, kind of like, oh, like you're Satanist? That's crazy, you know, like what's that about? And then I tell them like the core beliefs of Satanism, and they're like, oh, like it's just be nice and be kind to people, and you know, like there's a whole a whole tenement in the Satanic temple of Satanic command, like the Satanic tenements, where it's like, you know, like treat animals with kindness, you know, it's like things like that, you know. It's like it's ridiculous to believe that this is the cause of death and misery, you know. It's like the exact opposite.
Exactly.
You know, it's all just, it's a symbolism. It's like even I can't vouch for Satanic Temple enough for what they do. They have a whole organization where they go to like women's shelters, like for like battered women, and give them, you know, stuff they may need. You know, in terms of like sexual health and things like that. Of like, hey, you know, people aren't just giving this out, so they do that. Like, and I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't know any church on top of my head that does that.
I was gonna say like that really kind of grabs at me, because I'm like, I'm sure that dealing with all of that, there's a whole lot less of the hypocritical or the but not me mentality.
Exactly. And I look at these cases because, I mean, these were, I mean, I can't really speak for the Norwegian black metal scene and say that it was a death cult, but the Beast of Satan was absolutely a death cult, right?
Yeah.
And you look at any other cult that we've talked about and we've discussed over the years and how much they have the same kind of mantras, right? It's people kind of down on their luck, right?
Yeah.
They don't really have a place, and then someone comes up and goes, hey, I have a community that people will love you. And then they join the community, and then they get really involved in the community, and then they start kind of doing start doing some crimes. They go, hey, you can't leave now.
Oh,
You're part of this.
Yeah.
Right? And if you try to leave, we're going to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And either that, or they just kill that person, and then they go to the other people and they go, hey, you're part of this now.
Don't be like them, the unbeliever.
And one thing I forgot to note in the Beast of Satan thing is that one of the key members, I think it was Ozzy or Sapone, it was one of them, or Volpe was one of them, said that they were actually thankful that they were arrested by police, because he's like, we were gonna kill each other. Like they were that was like the end game.
Yeah.
Was that they were gonna start hunting each other one by one until there was one left, which is crazy.
That was crazy.
But yeah, just wanted to talk about some church burnings, some, you know, murder.
Yeah.
And heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Because it's Halloween time.
Yeah.
It's Halloween time. And this is coming out on our Wednesday. So it'll be coming out next week. And getting married, dude.
Yeah.
Up top. Hell yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to sit in a chair on the stage and read the story. Just like sit there in a recliner and be like, all right, let's talk about Satanism for the next hour and 45 minutes. Ready? Begin. So Satanism, and then just read the whole fucking thing again. Your family would love that.
Yeah, I'm sure your family would be super stoked too.
Yeah, they were going to be super. You mean the family that was in a death cult? Oh, sorry, apocalypse cult, not a death cult.
Yeah, there you go.
Bro, I am so excited because I went into, I mean, obviously for me, as with so many things, I'm going into it blind, and I'm like, I don't want to have any thoughts in my mind. I just want to see you guys in your special moment and see what that's about. Because it's like, outside of the podcast, we haven't hung out a ton of times.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is a rare opportunity where I'm like just able to sit back and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be real fun, and you know, and then we'll be married, and then that's gonna be even cooler.
Yeah.
And then I'll have more fun conversations with Tay, where she'll just come up to me and like when I was doing the Donner party, and she's like, "Hey, you've been talking about cannibals a lot. Have you heard about?" And then just started talking about cannibals, and I'm like, man, I am absolutely marrying the right person, because I don't know of a single other person that has ever come up to me and been like, "Hey, you've been reading about some crazy shit, but have you fucking heard about this?" And I'm like, no, but that's wild. Like, that's crazy that you know that. It's not just dogs.
Oh, yes.
It's also cannibals and murder. That's really cool of you, Tay. That's pretty.
I got a lot
metal.
of fun little facts in my brain sometimes.
Yeah, it's fun. But what an episode, right?
Yeah.
Righto.
I know.
was a
I
good
feel like
episode.
I feel like we're kind of just like looking around and like, oh, what are we talking about now? Well, fucking. We were discussing a while ago. Hopefully, the plan is for May. We're in HGO 200, right?
Wow.
I figure. I mean, we're still a ways away from it.
No, I know, but still.
I know HGO 200 is crazy. We just celebrated our birthday, HGO birthday, 3 years of podcasting, which is really crazy. And we have people listening all over the world. And I know there's some people that listen in Norway. So if you're listening to this, let me know how the black metal scene's out there. Hit me up with some bands on the Instagram. I'll check those out. It sounds sick. But yeah, HGO 200, once we get closer to it, we're going to do a little special event. And if you're in the greater Portland area, please come out to that. But for right now, you can follow us on our socials at HGOPodcast, pretty much on everything. TikTok, Instagram, Threads. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can at IHuntTheHaunted, and TikTok at IHuntTheHaunted. Shocker, right? And I do some Twitch and stuff like that sometimes, but I actually do want to be doing some streams for the HGO crew. So be on the lookout for those. You can most likely will find that on our Instagram about future updates regarding that. But I'll pass it off to Tay.
Hi, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lunar Thrill, sometimes Twitch, but probably look for some other streaming platforms.
Yes, no longer going to be using Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is quite a shame, because I've been a big proponent of Twitch for a long time. Big fan of their platform, but after recent issues regarding TwitchCon, if you haven't heard about that, have you heard about that, Bill?
I have not.
A famous content creator named Emaru, I believe is her name, was assaulted at TwitchCon by a assailant, and the Twitch effectively tried to put it under the rug.
Oh,
and it
that's
didn't happen.
wild.
And it took her security to go to law enforcement that was at the event to get this person into custody. And that person was just basically escorted off the property with a 30-day ban, and is no longer allowed to look on Twitch, which is ridiculous because they could just sign up with a new email.
Yeah.
So,
I'll find a new streaming platform.
They do not protect their content creators, and they do not protect women. So.
So I'll find a new streaming platform to find to occasionally stream, but otherwise that is all I got. You can also follow our dog, who's snoozing super hard right next to me, at Spirit the Turv on Instagram.
Spirit the Turv.
And Bill, it's your turn.
Yep, Thrill of Bill. That is TikTok and Snap. I try to post stuff on there at least once a week now since I've kind of taken a step back from stand-up, but I'm trying to find that fire, and hopefully I can light it and not burn any churches down. But yes, Thrill of Bill, that's me.
Well, me and Bill, you and I have been talking about going and doing some stand-up together. We should definitely go and do that.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we're gonna do like a. maybe we'll get like get Armando involved. All three of us will just stand up there and just make dick jokes for 10 minutes. But you need to get on Instagram so I can send you all the horrible things that pop up on my Instagram. All the I have so many fucked up videos to share. It's so fun. I have no one to send them to other than Marty. And then he just kind of goes, "Oh my god," and then he'll send me a video of a dog. But remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And hail Satan!
Hail.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.